Well, I'm now at the Hongta district of Yuxi City in Yunnan Province, and where I'm standing right now is where a herd of 15 wild Asian animals, Asian elephants, have passed. This is really dark now, but if follow my fingers, they've come down the mountain behind me, and this is the path where they followed when they come into the village. This path didn't exist until last night, and 15 wild elephants have trampeded this area and then followed. Okay, I think I've just stepped on some elephant dung here. As you can see, some elephant dung, and here's some more. This is the path they traveled when they come down suddenly from the forest area and then into this village, where you can see through the village. And on the ground here are some giant footprints. This is the pathway where the elephants have entered through. And this is nighttime at the Dashui Chong village, one of the smaller villages in the Yuxi city. And it's very windy and very dark right now, but the forest authorities locally are still stationed here, as they are keeping watch for the villagers and warning them to avoid a possible return of this herd. As we learned at the headquarters of fire brigades and forestry experts, they have told us that in general, the elephants are traveling through a north or northeast trajectory, but they're not sure. And this afternoon we got an emergency notice that the elephants might return to this village where they came last night. And this is the village square where many police squad and fire brigades are stationed, and they're staying overnight to keep watch of the villagers, to keep them safe, actually. And we actually visited this village this afternoon, but we want to check out what it looks like at nighttime. The other media have all pulled out and went back to the headquarters, and we have revisited this village to see how the villagers are dealing with. And to my surprise, the villagers are not evacuated, and they're still here. And I talked to one of the villagers this afternoon. He said he's not that worried about the elephants because he's seen the elephants when he was a child, and the elephants have not hurt the people so far, so he's not that worried. And now we're heading to one of the farmlands where the elephants have gone to. 哎，你们昨天晚上有看到有大象吗？你们昨天晚上没看到啊？
昨天晚上都看见了，
你们没看到？你们现在怎么不离开呢？就是
为什么离开啊？大象离开我们了。
大象已经走了吗？
大象走了。
但是我好像听他们说有可能会回来，你们晚上还要注意啊。
对，
哦，你们一定要住在2楼，不要睡在1楼，好吧？
哦，莫在1楼。千
万不要在1楼。对对对，注意安全啊！注意安全啊！ 好，谢谢。哎，谢谢。The villagers have told us that the villagers have just told us that they're not that worried because they think the elephants have left this village. But according to our knowledge, the headquarters experts have told us that the elephant's trajectory is not that certain. And maybe the reason is a bit absurd because some experts are guessing that maybe the lead elephant has lost the sense of direction, and that's why the herd is not traveling to the usual spots where they find food during summertime, and are heading toward the northern part of Yunnan Province, where the capital city Kunming is sitting. And actually where I am right now is only about 100 kilometers away from Kunming, which is a very alarming news because once the elephants enter the downtown areas of cities, it is really difficult for local police or fire brigades to control these wild animals because they are very easy to be agitated. Although they are not the larger kind of elephant, they're only about 2 meters high, the adult male elephant might be 2 to 3 meters high, tall, but they're very easy to be agitated and they attack people as a habit. Actually, the elephant-people conflict is not really news in Yunnan. As far as I've learned, every year there are cases of people injured, even killed by wild elephants, and the elephants entering people's houses are even more common to be seen. So this is the farmland. It is really dark, but we'll try to give you light. As you can see, the area, the farmland, the rice field has been trampeded. 那里可能更清楚一点。The rice field over there has all been trampeded because usually the rice grains should be upright, and now most of it are laying on the ground. Because this is where 5 adult elephants have passed, and they are trying to find food in the rice field, but unlucky for them, rice is not their staple. Talking about the elephants' food, corn is the usual staple for elephants, and maybe they will eat some other grains, but not usually rice or wheat, because that's not the usual staple grown here in Yunnan. Let's move along. This is a really small village, so let's take a look around it and see how people are dealing with it. As you can see, this is after dinner time and people are just strolling around the road and they're really relaxed. Maybe because they feel pretty safe with the fire brigade, stationed at the village square. We're now at the southern part of Yunnan, where the scenery is mostly forest and even rainforests, and it's very biodiverse. So it is actually one of the reasons the experts have told me about why the wild elephants have chosen to enter human territory, is that because the side effect of the biodiverse area, because with the natural parks or natural habitats of the elephants become more biodiverse, there are more animals coming in to take food. So the food at their natural habitat in Xishuangbanna, which is southeast of Yunnan Province, is not enough for the herd. Elephants usually live in herds or families. This family is made up of 3 male adults and 6 female adults and 3, let's say, teenage age elephants and 3 newborns. And the latest newborn baby was born last December, and it is also following the herd to find food and water. At one of the gas stations along their trajectory, they have broken into the gas station and drunk up all the water stationed there. About 2/3 of Yunnan's wild Asian elephants have now left their natural habitats. But this herd is the largest one, or the latest spotted one. We're not sure where the rest are. And that is one of the biggest challenges for local forestry authorities, because they have difficulty locating these wild animals. And because they're nationally protected animals, it's difficult to, say, put a GPS chip on them. And this is actually the barn that I mentioned today in my walk and talk. And this is also the barn that I visited today. And as you can see, the恢复了，你再告诉我。你站外面，我说就行。它有点卡，还是卡。现在呢？现在可以。So this is actually, I'm actually trespassing, so I probably should step out of the door. This is actually the barn of a local villager, and very unlucky for him, 5 adult elephants have broken into his barn and eaten up all his corns, and stepped on and killed 2 of his chickens over there. You can see the chicken cage. And in the jar over there, he was keeping some eels to be sold at the market. But now the jar has been toppled, so the eels have all escaped. As you can see also on this door that was broken down, a giant footprint. Wild elephant. If you want to have animals are, look at the if you want to know how tall the animals are, just look at the roof. 你不用懂我懂. Just look at the roof. This is the dirt from their back. This is the dirt from their back. So you can see the elephant is probably this tall, and 5 adult elephants have broken into this house and eaten up all the storage of the owner and killed some of his other animal properties. I've asked the owner whether he will get some compensation for this kind of damage. He said nothing so far. We're trying to, help them to get this wild animal damage more well known to the public. So probably the local government will give them some compensation because, some villagers, they're not that well off. So probably the elephants have eaten all their all year's earning in just one meal. So I'm trying to communicate with local villagers, but they say they are not receiving any compensation so far. This is actually also because their awareness is not that high, because if you want to get some compensation for this kind of damage by wild animals, you have to buy a special kind of insurance. But some people locally are not aware of that, or they don't think it's worthwhile to buy this kind of insurance. And that's why it's more difficult for them to get compensation if this kind of accident keeps happening. And as I was talking about the makeup of the herd is of 3 adult male elephants and 6 adult females, a big family. And I want to recast the growth of the family. It started as a number of 17 elephants last December, and this April, 2 of the elephants headed back to their natural habitat in Xishuangbanna, while the other 15 kept pushing north. And then on the 16th of May, 15 of these Asian elephants have reached the Shiping County in Honghe Autonomous Prefecture of Yunnan Province. And just a few days ago, on the 24th of May, one of these little cubs or a little calf have been left behind. So 14 of these wild animals have entered Eshan County in Yuxi City, which is not very far from where I am now. And on the next day, on the 25th of May, the little calf that was left behind kept up with the team. So all of the 15 wild Asian elephants have entered Eshan County in Yuxi City, and they are still here until today. A fun fact for you is that some of the elephants, even, except from drinking the water at the gas station, one of the elephant also drank some alcohol at one of the local winery, because experts say that elephants, they have a little bit of alcohol bug in their mind. So I was half jokingly talking to the expert, maybe we can set up a booby trap for them and then draw them in to give them some alcohol. Maybe they'll be drunk, and then we can take them back to their natural habitat using trucks. This is also the natural thinking of many people, because they think if this herd is so much a threat to local people, why not just put them to sleep and then bring them back? And the wild animal experts are saying that if you put them down, they will just remember you. They will just remember you as the person who shot them. And elephants are known to hold grudges. If they ever travel this path again, they will be more violent than they are now. So to avoid future human-elephant conflict, it is wise to not attack the elephants unless it's absolutely necessary. So that is also what the Kunming local authorities are doing, is that they're doing the precautionary part, but they're not yet considering the deadly part, which is to maybe put the elephants down or to put them to sleep, which is using more violent means. And this is also in the principle of maintaining a cohabitant of human and animals by the Yunnan Province. But we're seeing many reviews online that many people are probably a bit angry that why the local authorities are not doing more to keep people safe or just to erase the threat once and for all. But it's really difficult to do, because the herd, the overall number of wild Asian animals have just reached 300 since they were first recorded as 150 at I think it was 1980s. So during over 40 years, they only grown by one. They only doubled. So the number has been growing very slowly, and it's really difficult to humanly increase their number, just like what we did for the giant pandas, because wild elephants are very easily to be agitated, as I mentioned, and they hold grudges. So it's really difficult for people to actually approach them. What the local fire brigade and experts are doing is that they're using drones to see the locations of the elephants, because here's also one tip for you. Elephants move at night and they rest during daytime, because it's really hot in Yunnan during daytime, and they hide into the forest, and then at night when there are breezes, and so they get up and move along their own track. So what the experts are doing now is to use the drones to locate the actual spots of the elephants and trying to warn the people on the path of their potential routes. So that is so far what they have been doing, and as we're talking, they're doing their nighttime surveillance of today, and hopefully we will get their latest footage, and when we get that, we will put them on our new media platform and also show them to you on TV. And here are more warnings to you. Maybe you are not living in Yunnan Province, but if you ever come in the same path as a wild elephant, although we all grow up seeing Discovery Channel and we think elephants are cute, don't come near them in any way at any time. If you ever see an elephant, just run. And if you can climb trees, climb on the trees, because it's very difficult for humans to outrun elephants, as they can run as fast as 40 miles an hour. So that's probably the speed you drive a car in the city during peak hour. So don't ever think you can outrun it. If you ever come in the same path as wild elephants, just don't come near them. And then if you ever do, and unfortunately for you, you have to climb up on trees or just stay still and stay hidden, because elephants don't have very good eyesight, but they have excellent smell. And that's my tips for you, and that's the tips that the experts want me to convey to you. I understand most of our viewers may not be living in Yunnan Province, but if you ever visit here because of the beautiful scenery, just bear in mind, don't try to shoot any kind of wild animals at close distance. It's actually for your own good. That's what I have so far, and if I have tonight's surveillance footage of the latest elephant's location, we'll be sharing them to you on our new media platform.